Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 1st March today, and in this video we are going to solve different types of questions which are very much relevant for your preparation. But before we'll start our discussion, I would like to give the brief introduction about this initiative so that if you are new to our channel you will get more connected with us. Basically in this video we are going to discuss three types of questions which would be taken from three different sources. In this way, in the first set of questions, the first set of questions which we are going to discuss here would be taken from current affairs. You know what we will do here? We will take up the most important articles from the newspapers. We will try to break them down into the simplest language possible, and we will try to derive the possible prelims questions from those particular articles so that it will give the idea which part of the newspaper is important for you, what should be your approach when you are reading these news articles, and how you can expect a possible prelims question from these particular articles. This is what we are going to do in the first phase of our discussion. After solving questions with respect to current affairs, we will shift our approach to the second part. Here we will discuss questions from the static topics. Every day we are discussing a static topic here, and we had started with Indian polity. Right now we are discussing the Attorney General of India with respect to Indian Constitution. Today we are going to discuss few important articles related to Attorney General of India, and we will try to derive the possible prelims question which can be asked on that particular topic, and it will give the idea how actually the question can be asked in the exam with respect to these discrete topics. After solving questions with respect to static topic also, we will shift our approach to the last part. Here we will discuss questions from the previous year question book. To me this is the most important part, as I always say, because in here we will discuss questions, how the questions are actually asked by the UPSC examiner, what is the vocabulary they use, what are the different trends they try to follow while framing your papers, and we will try to learn what can be the different techniques which we can implement in the exam if we don't have the proper knowledge of the question, and also we will try to learn how we can implement this knowledge in the upcoming exam. This is in a nutshell what we are going to do in this video. Now before we start our discussion, I would like to request you guys, please do subscribe the channel. When you subscribe us, it motivates us more, it gives us the energy to work more hard on these important topics, and to provide you the best information available. It motivates us to work more hard, so please do subscribe us. Do share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative if you are getting. And please do write in the comments what do you feel about this initiative. We are here to help you. If you need anything else, please do write in the comments. We will definitely try to provide that. With this, let's have a look at the first question which we had brought today. As here on the screen, you can see the question is with respect to the importance of wetlands. It is very much evident from the question here. So before we'll go to the reason why we had brought this question here, we'll first try to establish the question. First we'll try to solve the question here, get to the solution, then we'll shift to the reason why we had brought it here. What was the reason why we had brought this question here? As here on the screen you can see, the question says, consider the following statements regarding the ecological and socio-economic importance of wetlands. So this question highlights us, it wants us to know what is the importance of wetlands in our ecology and how it is socially economically important for us. So that we will solve here one by one. The first statement says, they act as a natural sponge, mitigating floods and reducing water flow. 100% correct. They act as the natural sponge, these wetlands. They act as natural sponge, and it helps in mitigating floods and other various disasters, other various naturally occurring disasters like tsunamis or destruction caused by fast moving winds. It helps in mitigating that. So definitely it acts as a natural sponge. So first statement is 100% correct. Second statement, they are vital carbon sinks playing a crucial role in climate change mitigation. 100% correct. These wetlands, they are the vital carbon sinks and they play a crucial role in climate change and mitigation. 100% correct. Second statement is also correct. Third, they support a rich biodiversity, including migratory birds and endangered species. 100% correct. They are home to the huge number of migratory birds, and they support a rich biodiversity because of the nature of the ecosystem there. They support the rich biodiversity. So 100% third statement is also correct. Fourth statement, it says they provide essential resources like fish, reeds, and rice, supporting local livelihood. 100% correct. They provide these essential resources like fish, reeds, rice, and wheat, whatever are they socially required. They provide these things. So 100% statement 4 is also correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be correct option would be option D. Here I would like to mention one thing to you guys. Suppose in exam, if any such type of question would be asked in the exam with suppose what are the applications of AI or something like that, what are the importance of these things, sometimes importance based questions would be asked in the exam. Suppose if you don't have the proper knowledge of such questions, the most of the times what your answer should be, if you are left with nowhere and you have to attempt that, what you should attempt, you should go for all the above options. Most of the times the answer is all the above options. This is the trick which I had learned from my experience in while I was while I was preparing for UPSC. Now coming to the question here, as we established what is the correct answer here and we saw the importance of wetland. Now let's establish why we had brought this question here. you know Basically there was an article in the newspaper, in the Hindu newspaper, which basically talks about it was an editorial which talked about the necessity of mainstreaming wetland conservation. What is the how it is important for mainstreaming the wetland conservation? First we have to establish what wetlands are. you know I will try to be very much brief in it, and I will try to make you understand in a very layman's language so that it will always remain in your mind what wetland is. For example, there is a water body. I will try to show it through a diagram here. Suppose it is a water body here, maybe lake, maybe it is a river flowing here, or maybe we can say uh, in the continental base I am saying, and here it is the terrestrial region around it. Here it is the terrestrial region around it, it is the water base. This region, it would contain the features of both water base, water model and water base, and it will also contain the features of the terrestrial region. So what will be the nature of this place, the buffer zone between the terrestrial region and the water region? The buffer zone, it will contain the soil which would be always moist. It will The nature of the soil would be different. It would be soil would be very much saline. The oxygen content will be very much low in this region, and it would not be that much good for the different. It would not be that fertile for different kind of plants. It won't be able to hold different kinds of plants there. So this region, mostly this region is called the wetland region. This buffer zone is the wetland region. It is the buffer zone between the terrestrial region and the it is the transitional zone between the terrestrial region and the aquatic ecosystem. So here we established the what wetland is, and we established some key features of it. It is the soil is always saturated with the water in here. There would be low oxygen concentration there. Soil is always saline. The soil would be very much weaker because of the presence of water there, and it does not support you know the regular plants there. So this would be the nature of the wetland. One important thing about it is, because of the diverse nature of it, it is very much attractive for different kinds of biodiversity. It will always be attractive for the migratory birds, because the soil would be very much loose there, and it would be very much available for them to feed on the insects and other other feeds. So it is very much it is then very much readily available for them, for the migratory birds. And also fish would be very much available there because of the nature of this region, and also other important things. And we established the importance of these wetlands through this question, how it acts as the natural sponge, how it helps in mitigating floods and regulating water flow. And also we saw that how it is playing a crucial role in carbon sink in eliminating in how it is playing its crucial role in the present time when the global warming is a major issue. It plays a role in carbon sinking. And we also established how it can be how it is the rich biodiversity, how it supports the rich biodiversity, including migratory birds, because of the nature of the soil, the nature of the food available there for these migratory birds and other endangered species. So this is how we had seen it. But here there is a problem with respect to these wetlands. This is the basic understanding of the wetland which we saw here. We have the continental wetlands also. For example, the wetlands near the near the continental near the oceanic bases. We had seen the wetlands there also, how mangroves are grown there, how they act as the natural sponges. So we had this basic understanding with respect to this. But here is a problem. According to the studies which had been done, approximately, according to the studies, it has been found out that 6% of the earth 6% of the earth is under wetlands. 66% of the earth is under wetlands, but unfortunately 50% of the area under wetland has been diverted, and wetlands extend, and also if we will see, the 6% of the earth is under wetlands, but 50% of it has been diverted, because of the urbanization, because of the industrialization. There is definitely impeachment in these areas, and there is the need for supporting the wetlands. And with respect to that, we had seen how Ramsar Convention has played its part, as in 1971 we had the World Wetland Day, 22nd Feb. On 2nd Feb, we celebrate the world wetland day. And why we celebrate it on the 2nd Feb? Because on the same day, it was in the Ramsar Convention was adopted in 1971 in the Iran. Ramsar Convention was adopted. So the major goal of the Ramsar Convention was to protect these wetlands. And with respect to that, we have different Ramsar sites which had gained the importance. For example, also in India we have almost above 85 or 89 sites. Recently 4 more were added. We have almost 89 sites which had got the status of Ramsar sites in India. So definitely there is need for the protection of these wetlands. And according to the reports, how we had seen how these wetlands are in the declining. And also we had seen, with respect to India, wetland extent trends in India, there is every year there is 7% reduction in the wetlands. So definitely there is a declining trend in the wetlands, and we saw that how important they are for our environment, how important they are for the local native people living in these regions, for their economic security. And it is the prime time for the world to understand how it is prime time for India to understand, for the world to understand how important they are, and what is their role in the nature. It is the prime time for everybody to understand it, and and try its best to conserve these wetlands. So this is the whole idea why we had brought this question here. This is the nature. That is why we had brought this question. That is why this question is important for it, because there was a clear-cut discussion in the newspaper with respect to wetlands, how important they are for the nature, how important they are for the conservation of biodiversity, how important they are for the climate, for mitigating the climate change. That's why we had brought this question. And we had seen the declining trends in India, as we had established every year 7% of the wetlands is on declining trend in India. And it is the prime time for India to understand the importance of these wetlands and provide for their protection. So with this, I hope you had understood the question. And now let's move to the another slide and see what we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the as you can see, the question is with respect to the regulating artificial intelligence. There was an article in the newspaper, what should be India's role in regulating artificial intelligence, how India should regulate artificial intelligence. So before we'll go to that discussion, first we will see what does the question ask here. We'll establish the question, then after establishing the question we will go to that discussion. Here the question says, which of the following entities has enacted the world's first comprehensive legislation aimed at regulating artificial intelligence? It was enacted in 2023. We should know that which is the country or which part of the region it is. It is definitely the European Union, which has enacted the world's first comprehensive legislation aimed at regulating artificial intelligence. So with respect to artificial intelligence, we know that right now it is the industrialization 4.0. Industrialization 4.0, which is majorly governed by artificial intelligence. Artificial, it is majorly governed by artificial intelligence. So definitely, definitely there is, definitely there is need for its regulation. And here we have to see first where India stands. Right now, as world is progressing, US, they have their own chatbots with respect to the artificial intelligence. They had brought their, they had established their technology with respect to that, and they are very much, we can say, they almost enjoyed the monopoly in the artificial intelligence. They have open language models with respect to that. And similarly, if we will see the China, what they are doing, they are almost catching up with the US. And recently we saw that how deep seek, it was a transformative in nature, how it was one of the thing which was not expected. How it challenged the US's open language models, and with the lower costs, we had seen that how China is improving in it and how other countries are improving in it. But with respect to India, we can see that India is very much at the back foot with respect to the artificial intelligence. We have not yet achieved what we are desiring for, and right now we are just trying to catch up. Even though we have different missions with respect to AI, for example, India AI mission, we have different missions, but these are not enough for us to challenge the China's dominance and US's dominance. So definitely there is need for India to improve in it. So here comes the question of the regulation. If right now India is not even in a map, India is nowhere in the map, so wouldn't it be restrictive if we bring in regulations with respect to that? So with respect to this, there is proper discussion, there should be the proper discussion whether how India should regulate its AI ambitions. For example, should we take the model of US, where the US has given the open hand to the AI regulations? There is no control over AIs, very limited control, where countries are doing, where companies would be free to work on AI and innovate in it. And should we go in the look at the Chinese model, where there is definitely huge restrictions on the regulations of AI? Should we use this model, or should we go the intermediate between the China and US? Should we go for the European Union model? Definitely the author in this article suggests that India should opt for the European Union model, or if not European Union model, still in India we have huge number of legislations, we have huge number of articles related to science and technology, related to innovation, information and technology. We have enough legislations in India, and we can use them. We don't need to go for the further, we can only amend them. We don't need to go for the new legislations with respect to the regulation of AI. But here the author highlights that if we will go for the stringent regulations, it will definitely impact the innovation. Or if we will go for the free regulations, if we will give the free hand, it will definitely lead to fake news, and India has been the victim of that. So definitely there is the middle path which India has to choose between the two. And if India will choose between these two, India should opt for the model which is as similar as European Union model. So with this, I hope you had understood the question also, and why we had brought this question here. Now with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the Chamoli district. You would had heard about this district because it is often in news because of the natural disasters. And right now, why it is in news? Because of the avalanche hit in this region, and 22 people almost died. So that's why this district is in news. It was in the newspaper, it is often in the news, so you should know to which place it belongs to. Sometimes UPSC may surprise you by asking such questions. Here the question says, Chamoli district, which has recently been featured in news reports, is located in which of the following Indian states? 100% it is in Uttarakhand. Why it is this time in news? Because it was Uttarakhand was it this district was hit by the avalanche, and almost 22 people lost their life. So about avalanche, it is very much similar to the landslides. The only difference is in the landslides it is the land which breaks down, but in the avalanche it is the snow which abruptly breaks down, and it can cause huge danger for the people living there. And it has been seen in this district, that is why it is in the news. And we know about these landslides and avalanches, these are the secondary disasters than a primary disaster. Why they are called secondary disasters? Because they are caused by the primary disasters, like they are caused by the primary disasters like earthquake and other events or man-made events in that particular region. That's why they are called the secondary disasters. So with this, I hope you had understood the question as well as the context behind the question. Now with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought here. This question is lost from the current affairs part. It is about the Aditi L1 mission. The question says why it is in news, because Aditi L1 mission, it has unlocked solar flare secrets with the new images. That's why it is in news. It was launched in 2023 in the Lagrange point 1, so that it will it will almost neutralize the gravitation between the sun and earth, and there would be no and there would be no eclipses in this particular region, so that it can study the sun very much properly. So with respect to this, let's understand the question. Let's solve the question here. Here the question says regarding the Aditi L1 mission launched by the Indian Space Research Organization. Please remember that. Consider the following statements. First statement, it is India's first dedicated scientific mission to study the sun. 100% correct. Second statement, the spacecraft is placed in a geostationary orbit around the Earth, not in the geostationary. The spacecraft is not placed in the geostationary orbit, but it is placed in the halo orbit around the Lagrange point L1 of the Sun-Earth system. This L1 point allows for the continuous observation of the sun without any uh, occultation or eclipses. 100% incorrect. The second statement is 100% incorrect. Third statement, it will study the solar corona, chromosphere and photosphere. 100% correct. Fourth statement, the mission aims to study solar winds and their impact on Earth's magnetosphere. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1, statement 3 and statement 4, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. So with this, I hope you had understood the question. By solving this question, we had completed today's questions with respect to current affairs. Now let's move to the another part of our discussion. No, sorry, we are left with one more question with respect to current affairs. Let us see what is that. The question here says, as you can see here on the screen, the question says which of the following groups of countries represent the top 4 nations in terms of scientific publication output. You may wonder here that would UPSC ask this question? Trust me, UPSC can ask this question, so you need to know about that. It is the study brought forward by Stanford University, and it has highlighted that what are the countries which had the highest number of scientific publications. And according to that, we need to know what are those countries. It is 100% China. It is with 8.9 lakh publications. Then it is United States. United States has almost 4.5 publications. Then after that it is India. So 100% the correct answer to this question is option B. The countries top 4 nations in terms of scientific publication output is China, United States, India and United Kingdom. So with this, I hope you had understood this question also. Please remember this data. It may be asked in the exam. It can be important for you in the mains exam also, if you know these data, how much publications are India making per year. So with this, let's move to the another part of our discussion, where we will solve a static topic based question. As you know, currently we are discussing the Attorney General of for India. So let us see what we had brought. Here the question says Article 88 of the Indian Constitution. Article 88 of the Indian Constitution pertains to the rights of which of the following. Definitely, it is very much understood from our discussion. Right now, you can directly guess it is the Attorney General of India without any doubt. But let's see what does Article 88 of the Constitution of India express. It provides that every minister and the Attorney General for India shall have the right to speak in and take part in the proceedings of either house, any joint sitting of the house, and any committee of a parliament of which he may be named a member but shall not be entitled to vote. So what does it mean? That under Article 88, the Attorney General of India, he shall have the right to speak in the house and right to speak in and expressly provides right to speak in and take part in the proceedings of either house. He should be able, he should be it is under his power that he can take part in the proceedings of either house or any joint sitting of the house or any committee of the parliament of which he has been named, but he cannot vote. The Attorney General cannot vote, but he can take part. He can take part but cannot vote. So please remember that. So till now we established that the Attorney General, he is the chief legal advisor of the government of India. He is the highest law officer in the country. He is appointed by the President of India under Article 76(1). He receives, he receives his salaries as determined by the President, and also, attorney. He is, about Attorney General. We know that through this question we understood that he can, he can take part in the proceedings of the House, whether it would be in either of the House, in the joint sitting, or in any parliamentary committee of which he has been named a member, but he cannot vote, so he is not entitled to vote. So I guess this much information about Attorney General is enough for you to crack any question if any asked in the exam with respect to him. So with this, I hope you had understood it. From last 2 days we are discussing it. Now I hope you had understood every important aspect related to Attorney General. Now with this, let's move to the last part of our discussion, where we will solve a previous year question. This question was asked basically in 1997. So let us see what was the question. The question is assertion reason based. The question says Chile continues to be an important producer of copper in the world. Nothing wrong with the statement. It is a very neutral statement, and you can mark it correct if you don't have the proper knowledge about it. Second statement, Chile is endowed with the world's largest deposits of profile copper. When we know that first statement, we understood that it is the important producer of copper in the world. So we understood that it is true. So there would be, if you do, for example, if you don't know, have the proper knowledge, there would be nothing wrong if you don't know about this question and you want to attempt it. You are, for example, you had attempted, you feel that you could get into the passing zone if you will attempt this question, and you want to have a solid guess with respect to that. So with respect to the first question, you understood that Chile continues to be an important producer of copper in the world. You established that it is true in your mind. So there is nothing wrong in establishing the reason to be true with respect to this question. You can establish that with respect to it, because it is very much similar, it is very much matching. What does this reason say? Chile is endowed with the world's largest deposits of profile copper. 100% correct, true. And I'm talking here about the technique. So what would be the correct answer? The correct answer to this question would be both A and B are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A, 100% correct. So this, by this you can solve the question. If you are in a position where you have to attempt this question and you feel you can attempt it correctly, so use these common sense based knowledge techniques in it. And also, most of the times, I would say, about the assertion and reason based questions, it is not universal. It is not, I would say, 100% times or 80% times, or I would say 60% of the times when these assertion reason questions are there, 60% of the times you would say, if you have to attempt, go for the first option, that is both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation. It may be correct if you have to attempt it. So with this, we complete our today's discussion. I hope you would have liked the video. I hope you would have shared it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.